Hi YouTube, I'm back. That's right, shintigercurl, that dude with the straw hat, is back and better than ever. This is not a review video as most of you probably be hoping. This is more of an update video, just to let you know what I've been doing since in my sort of little absence and sabbatical, and about what I've been doing, as well as my thoughts and opinions about the current state of professional wrestling. Well, to answer the first thing, as you can clearly see, I am no longer in Kansas City, back home in Houston, Texas, to be closer to my family, particularly to my parents. My mother had just gotten over a very bad case of pneumonia, almost died. So she's kind of not in, she's good, but she's not well. I'll just say it like that. My father's doing okay. We just finished remodeling the house, doing some repave the sidewalk. As for me, what am I doing? Well, I've enrolled into Stratford Institute for private investigating. I'm going to be a PI. Currently working on my first book. That's right, I'm writing a book. You got a problem with that? It's right here. I can thank all my years of writing fan fiction for my interest in writing a book. Let's see. Nothing else to say other than my nephews are awesome little runts, and nothing much to say about that. But anyway, personal business aside, what you're probably wondering, Shintire Curl, what do you think about what's going on in professional wrestling? Well, I'll give you my opinions right now. I'm just going to give you some bullet points about what I think about things that have been going on in the WWE and TNA. Though I got a lot to say about TNA. But anyway, what do I start with? What else do you start with in the WWE? With the most over man in the entire company. That's right, one Mr. Daniel Bryan, aka Bryan Danielson, aka the GOAT, aka the Yes Man, aka the American Dragon. What's been going on with Daniel Bryan has been nothing short of phenomenal, if I can use that word. Uh, to say he's over is a kind of understatement. It's to say that's like saying the Undertaker is can do okay at WrestleMania. That's like saying John Cena has quite a bit of merch. Yeah, Daniel Bryan over the past year has been an unstoppable juggernaut of professional wrestling perfection. The man, I'm not saying he's a great promo cutter. I mean, there have been guys like Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man Randy Savage, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, John Cena, to name a few, who've been over because of their overwhelming mic skills. Now, Daniel Bryan is not terrible on the mic. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that Daniel Bryan is good for what he does. He says what he is what he is. He says what he is. He doesn't need to elaborate. Well, he doesn't need catchphrases or saying his catchphrase all over and over. Well, he does have a catchphrase with yes and no, but that's not his fault. The fans kind of did that. But he can rile up a crowd just by being himself. And his self is awesome. And right now, he's probably the biggest underdog since Rey Mysterio. I mean, at least Daniel doesn't get as injured as Rey. But I digress. Tonight, now in professional wrestling, in the history of Raw and other organizations, there've always been wrestlers who want things to happen for them, so they so-called do sit-ins or hijacks or I'm not going to leave the ring till I get what I want. And nobody really buys it. I mean, a lot of people have done it. Most notably, Chris Jericho has done it to varying success. But Daniel Bryan tonight took it to a new level. He said that they were going to occupy Raw. First, I didn't really think much of it. And then he said, I got some people from the Yes Movement, and I'm going to bring them in the ring, and we're going to shut this fucker down. Not his words, because we're still kind of PG, but yeah. So they started filtering in And by the time the commercial break came back, they had literally filled up the ring and the ringside area with fans. I'd honestly never seen anyone able to do that. So he was able to get Admiral Trips and his wife, Sexy Power, my only thing. And not only does Daniel Bryan have a match against Triple H, but if he wins, he will be inserted into the main event World Heavyweight title match between Batista and Randy Orton, making it a triple threat match. Now, I said this had to happen to a lot of people on CBR, to the CBR comic book wrestling forums. You know who you are. You're probably watching this video right now. Because I posted it just now on the forums. But I've said this, that as it stands, the Batista Randy Orton match is gonna suck. Why? Well, for two reasons. One, the fans. They will, if Daniel Bryan is not in this title match, they will shit on it. You might as well bring toilet paper with the amount of shit they're going to fling at that ring. It will not work. It cannot work. Batista was brought in as a face. And for the simple fact that Daniel Bryan was not in the Royal Rumble was enough for them to turn on Batista. I mean, Rey Mysterio was the last person in the Royal Rumble. They booed him. They booed Rey Mysterio, a perpetual face. One of the longest face. He has been a face since his debut in the WWE. He's one of the, he is one of the few characters, he's one of the few wrestlers in the entire company who has never been a heel, along with Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston has never been a heel. Now, the fans do not, if Daniel Bryan is not in this match will go down the toilet. And I don't think Vince or Trips wants this. The second reason I say that Daniel Bryan should be in this match is Mr. Dave Batista. Now, Dave, I loved you in the Man with the Iron Fists. Tiger Style Kung Fu for the win. And I know you're going to kick ass in Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm a big Guardians of the Galaxy fan. And I'm not saying this just because I like Rocket Raccoon. I like the whole group. Star-Lord, Gamora, Groot, Drax the Destroyer, Rocket Raccoon, and I'm even going to expand it to like Adam Warlock, Phyla, Nebula, Cosmo, and Iron Man. Yes, Iron Man is a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. But I'm getting off topic. Since Batista's return, it has been plainly obvious that Mr. Batista is not in the best of conditions. He is shown to run out of breath doing 5-minute matches. He did a match with Daniel Bryan that he could not finish. He had a match against Alberto Del Rio. Del Rio carried him in that match. And Batista looked terrible in it. Now, say what you want about Randy Orton. You may not like him personally. You may not like his character. You may think he whines a lot. But I can tell you this much. At least he can pull off a great match. The guy has near flawless ring psychology. He can, if you put him in the ring with the right guy, he'll give you gold. Now, he can't do that with Batista because Batista, sadly, it gasses out too soon. Even though he looks ripped, his cardio and stamina are shot at this point, which is abysmal. He should, and we've known he's been coming back. This deal was in the works months and months before Royal Rumble, so he should have been getting himself in the proper condition to wrestle. So as it stands, that match will get shit on by the fans, and rightfully so, because it's going to be terrible. They had to add a third element to that match, and Daniel Bryan is the right element for this match. So I'm just saying they're doing the right thing here, and you know Bryan is going to win. He's going to win. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So 4 weeks. I'm looking forward to it. Uh, Another elephant in the room, Mr. Philip Jack Brooks, aka CM Punk, left shortly after the Royal Rumble wrapped up. The exact details on why he left are still sketchy, and as we saw last Monday, the Chicago fans were very disappointed that CM Punk was not um, appearing there at Raw at Chicago, and it's and and while I agree that they were cheering right, I'm gonna have to disagree with them on what they did for Sheamus and Christian's match. Not to say that now Christian and Sheamus, they're very good workers. Those dudes put in a lot of work, and they busted their asses in that match. And for the fans to shit on them like that, it just left a bad taste in my mouth. You can shit on a lot of matches that are worth shitting on. A Divas match is worth shitting on, depending on who's in it. Any match involving a Great Khali, you could shit on that match. And the mixed tag match between Fandango, Summer Rae, and Emma and Santino, you could shit on that match. Not to say that Emma is shit. Emma can wrestle her ass off. I'm just saying that they didn't deserve it. It was an okay match that didn't deserve it. So there's that. As for CM Punk, I'm not ready to say fuck him or say he's a bitch. I don't know the reasons why he left. Maybe he was just tired. Maybe he was running ragged. Maybe he didn't agree with what they were doing with his character. There was a lot of things that we don't know that went on between him and Vince because it was a face-to-face meeting. So I'm not going to sit here and say fuck him because that's not right. While I agree that he could have done it in a different way, I'm not going to sit here and just say fuck him because that's his decision. If he wants to retire, that's him. I don't mind. He's already done enough in the business to warrant him retiring. And he pretty much can do whatever the hell he wants at this point. I mean, next week he's going to appear on Talking Dead after the Walking Dead episode, which I'm looking forward to. Not just because I'm a fan of CM Punk's, but because I'm a fan of Walking Dead. And I know, and everyone knows that CM Punk is probably the biggest comic book nerd in all of professional wrestling. Not to mention, he gets to slam AJ every so often. I can't hate him. Let's see. They are currently teasing the breakup of the Shield. Now, the Shield, I love. Fucking love the Shield. The Shield are an amazing, amazing group. When they first came out, who would have thought they would come this far to be such a dominant force in in professional wrestling? And any one of those guys could be main event status. Those guys are main event caliber. The potential is there. Dean Ambrose has great mic work. He has a very Heath Ledger Joker-esque persona to him, almost a frenzied craziness about him. He can work his ass off in the ring. Seth Rollins, former ROH champion Tyler Black, as a lot of you know, his mic work has been improving. His in-ring work has been stellar. So he could be face or a heel, either way. But the biggest one is Roman Reigns. Now, when the Shield first came out, a lot of people were not sold on Roman Reigns. They were like, Roman Reigns, he's just a big, dumb dude who can't do shit. I mean, just because, well, he ain't going to amount to much. He's just a big dude. Now, sure, he was the weak link, but I saw potential in him. And as the months rolled by, he has blossomed into this. He has turned from a rough lump of coal into a diamond in the rough. It started at Survivor Series when he tied for the most eliminations in a single Survivor Series style match. It culminated at the Royal Rumble when he broke Kane's long-standing record of 13 eliminations in a single Royal Rumble match. He was on fire. His arsenal has improved drastically. Not just the power bomb, but that spear, which it looks like a good legitimate spear. His that fucking Superman punch, which I love, and that diving kick from the outside. I don't know what they call it. I gotta call it something, but Roman Reigns has the blood of a champion. He is a member of the ROE wrestling family. If you don't know who the ROE wrestling family is, basically every major Samoan superstar in the history of professional wrestling have belonged to this family. Everyone, from the Wild Samoans, from the early 60s and 70s, to the Head Shrinkers, to Rikishi, Yokozuna. Yes, Yokozuna is not Japanese. He is Samoan. Uh, Superfly Jimmy Snuka. He is an honorary member of the family. Who else? Who else? Of course, The Rock. He's a prime example of that family. And you got Rosie and Jamal of 3 Minute Warning. Jamal, who went on to become the late great Umaga, rest in peace. And of course, the Uso brothers. They're all one big family. Roman Reigns is just another example of that family. And he has improved leaps and bounds. I've always said that his only weak part is his mic work, and that has been steadily improving. His charisma is steadily getting better. And now, instead of being seen as the weakest member of the Shield, he is seen as the strongest member of the Shield. So I can stand by my statement. That any member, you could push any member of the Shield. You can't go wrong. Push all three of these motherfuckers. They're that good. Speaking of three motherfuckers, the Wyatt family. They're awesome. You should like them. What else? I'm not trying to make the video too long. Okay, I'll segue into TNA. Needless to say, TNA is in a kind of bad shape right now. Their roster has shrunken to almost anorexic levels of smallness. They need to expand their roster right now, and with Sting having left and signed a deal with WWE as a legend, Kurt Angle's teasing leaving after his contract is up. AJ Styles is no longer with the company. Their tag team division is almost non-existent. They did the right thing. The one thing they have done recently that's right, they signed Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards, the American Wolves. And I will fault the WWE for not picking these guys up. They're a fantastic tag team. I do not know why they decided not to go with these guys. That's just a crime in and of itself. But yeah, as long as we have an alternative to bromance. Yeah. Now, there's a lot of bad. Now, MVP, Montel Montavious Porter, has joined up with TNA. I didn't watch Lockdown for some reason. I was too busy watching Cosmos with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Oh no, we got a badass over here. Yeah, that guy. So anyway, TNA right now. What you need to, now, if you're listening to this, I doubt that you are. What you need to do, you need more talent. And I'm not just talking about any old WWE cast off or old school legend has been. You need young, up and coming talent, good talent. You need to hire them fast. Don't spend money on shit you know ain't gonna work. You hire young talent. Go to fucking ROH. Get some guys like fucking Tommaso Ciampa. Get the Dark City Fight Club. Try to get the Super Smash Brothers or something like that. Get the fucking Briscoes. Expand your horizons. Stop trying to mooch off WWE and do your own thing. You were good at that until you let that poor person's Paula Dean get in the way. I'm talking about you, Dixie. Now, I just don't like Dixie Carter on the mic. She should not be a villain. I mean, I just don't like her. I would hate fuck her if I could. Meaning that I would have sex with her, but it would be out of pure and unadulterated spite. That's cruel, isn't it? Well, that she brings it out in me. But needless to say, TNA, you're on the right track with who you've been hiring lately. I like Sam Shaw. He's a creepy little bastard. I'm digging the Wolves. I like what you're doing with MVP. I like what you're doing with Bobby Roode. Stay on this course. Don't fuck it up. I know you can. You will fuck this up. The history of you fucking shit up is unbelievably high. There is a 95% chance that you can still fuck this up. I want to like you, TNA. Now, speaking of young up-and-coming talent, recently on the WWE Network, they promoted a special 2-hour live event called NXT Arrival. For those of you of the uninitiated, NXT was originally ECW. Well, the repackaged ECW. It was converted into NXT, which became something of a reality show type deal where they took some young up-and-coming wrestlers, paired them up with veterans, and then they were one by one eliminated. Now, of course, we all know the First Class produced guys like Darren Young, Skip Sheffield, a.k.a. Ryback. Who else? Wade Barrett, also known as Bad News Barrett. And, of course, Daniel Bryan. Season 2 was okay. It had Loki, or Kaval, as he was called, until he left. Season 3 was focused on divas. I didn't see Season 4. So now, NXT has now become like the third brand. It merged with FCW, which was a developmental territory of the WWE, and became NXT on its own merit. They have their own title. They have their own women's title. They have their own tag team titles. It is a brand unto itself. And a lot of great talent have come out of NXT over the past couple of months. Your Biggie Langstons, your Emmas, your Antonio Cesaros, and of course your Wyatt family. All of these guys came from NXT. Now, there's a lot of up-and-coming talent in NXT. You got guys who's pretty good. You got, of course, Sami Zayn, a.k.a. El Generico. You got the Ascension, which is the NXT World Tag Team Champions. You got Bo Dallas, Bray Wyatt's brother. Yeah, don't believe me? Look it up. And you got the current NXT World Champion, Neville Sinclair, the man Gravity forgot. Fantastic wrestler in his own right. As for the Divas title, the NXT Divas Champion, you have Paige. Paige is actually called the Anti-Diva because she does not fit the mold of a diva, and I like that. Emma, don't let the wackiness and the dancing fool you. That bitch can wrestle. I mean, she was doing shit that Daniel Bryan usually do. Like pulling off submissions and shit. Watch that match between Paige and Emma. You will see a scorpion crosslock. If you've never seen a scorpion crosslock, you will see it at NXT Arrival. This is a whole new crop of motherfuckers coming up. And I would love to see some of them come up. And more importantly, I've been hearing word that the WWE and NXT are looking to sign Mr. Wrestling Kevin Steen, the Antichrist of professional wrestling. They're also looking to sign the Messiah of the Backbreaker, one Mr. Roderick Strong. But the one I'm looking forward most to, the Beast, Michael Elgin. Look him up. You're going to eat you. But yeah, those are my overall initial thoughts and opinions of the current professional wrestling. I will try to upload as much as I am possibly able to between school and writing my book and taking care of my nephews. Hi, Quentin. Hi, Cameron. I want to also wish my dear nephew, Quentin, a happy 5th birthday, and hope you enjoy the cake that we're ordering for you. Uh, my next review should be about Teen Impact. This will be the aftermath of lockdown. I didn't see it, didn't really care too much for it, but I heard it was pretty good, so we'll see how well they do. And of course, I will be joined by Joe, who is drunk over there because Zack Ryder was not featured today. But overall, that's pretty much all I have to say. I want to give a quick shout out to my roommates, my friends, and my roommates, Jess and Dante. Hi guys. I want to also give a shout out to a friend of mine, Makai88. Check out his. Me and him have been dueling on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro and Dev Pro. So if you're into Yu-Gi-Oh! Check out his channel. The guy can duel his ass off. I mean, I've only beaten him a handful of times, so give him a try. Makai88. And of course, if you're a real wrestling fan, check out the WWE. I mean, not WWE. The Reviewtopia's own WrestleCast, starring my boys Matty J and TWK. Every Saturday night. All right, uploads are every Saturday night. Get your comments in by Friday around 9:30 Central Standard Time, and they'll read on air. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. They will read that shit on air. So, until the next time, this is shintigercurl, that dude in the straw hat, saying good night and wrestle on.